Well, I'm back here again. I'm very sorry to tell you, although you probably all know this by now, that Gareth Davies of the Mindset Central has passed away. I found out yesterday when I got home from work. Well, I went to work and Colin Wolford was in Oxford, so I had a couple of beers with him and went home, and that's when I found out. This was kind of something I knew might well happen, and I was kind of preparing myself for it, but I really, on the other hand, I didn't quite believe that he wouldn't pull through. You see, as you know, he's been ill now for about 2 weeks. He did his last video on Mindset Central, on the Mindset Central YouTube channel, about, I think it was on last Sunday week, and he announced he wasn't feeling very well. After that, we didn't hear anything about it, except we didn't hear anything from him. He didn't do any more videos. A couple of people got inboxes from him telling him that he was seriously ill. I mean, it's not a secret that he had COVID-19, and that and that's when I got one of these messages, I wrote back and I said, "How are you?" And he didn't reply. And then I had a message from his brother telling me that he was seriously ill in hospital. And I thought, well, this was what I was afraid of. I mean, no doubt the skeptics and people like that and the trolls are going to have a field day. In fact, I see some of you pieces of shit already in the comment sections of Gareth's last video. In the comment section of Gareth's last video, going on about making, well, some of you making sick jokes. Other people are just saying, you had the red, you should have had the V word then. Oh, he's learnt, this is what you get if you don't get the V word and things like that. Well, I won't address any more of that, because I'll deal with that in another video about the whole C19 thing and how it relates to this. Then of course I was praying for him, and I was sending him healing thoughts and things like that continuously, and I received some messages. I was getting messages second hand from some people. Block City on YouTube was giving us updates in the comments section, because he's a friend of Gareth's, and telling us how he was getting on. Like at one point he was doing all right, then he didn't do well the other day and things like that. And then we didn't know. I mean, I immediately, when I received, before I was contacted by Gareth's brother, I went to. I called the hospitals in the local area, that is Los Angeles. I contacted all the hospitals I could find in the local area that had an emergency admission service, and I couldn't find him there. Eventually Richard told me which hospital he was at, but all they'll give you if you call them is they'll just confirm or deny whether the patient is there. They won't give you any information about them. You can't sort of speak to their doctor or anything. And Gareth, of course, couldn't speak at all. He was unconscious. And I was seriously thinking about going over to see him myself. I really was. I had the money. Funnily enough, it's ironic, because of the lockdown and the fact that I've worked through the lockdown and I haven't been going away or spending money on much except groceries. I've actually got quite a lot of money saved, so I did have the money if I wanted to go and see him. I'd already saved up quite a lot of money for the Roswell Festival. Oh God, yeah. So I was gonna go over there and see him, and then I looked into the bloody travel restrictions, and it's just not on. I mean, it's literally like you've got to do 7 days of tests, or was it 5 days of tests? I can't remember. And you've got to self-isolate for 10 days at the other end, and things like that. It's just not worth it. It's just not a point trying. But I was going to jump on a plane and go over and see him. And then I got home from. I didn't know how long this was going to take, about whether he was going to get better or how long he was going to be in hospital for, how long it would be before there's any change. We were on the Facebook group. There was loads of appeals for people saying, you know, is there any doctors? Do any doctors listen to Mindset Central? And things like that, and asking them for what they knew about it. And a couple of people, I think a couple of people were nurses now, and they said they thought, oh, it could take weeks, you know, before he gets better. I still thought to myself, he's going to pull through this. I knew there was a chance he wouldn't, but so I kind of prepared myself for that possibility. But I thought, you know, he'll pull through, and he'll have some wonderful stories to tell on the show when he pulls through. He'll have some wonderful stories to tell. And then and then I got home yesterday from Colin, having a beers with Colin, and I found out that he passed away. He'd gone. I just can't believe it. I can't believe. I'm still in shock. I think I'm still kind of in shock. I can't really feel much, except just I'm stunned. Never going to see him again. Well, not in this life, anyway. Oh, his poor kids. I mean, he's got children that are quite young. I mean, they're teenagers, and my heart goes out to them and the rest of his family. It really does. They have my condolences. I just can't believe, you know, I'm not going to be at work and think, oh, I've got to get home to do one of Gareth's shows with him. You know, either the Mindset Mornings or the Mindset Central Mindset Podcast, or I was on the Paratalk once, I think, because literally I would do these. I used to do at least one show a week with him, whenever I could, and it's become part of my routine. I just took it for granted, and I would just. At least one day I think, right, I'm doing a show with Gareth at this particular time, and you can see them all. They're all on the website's still there. I mean, I recommend downloading them all if you can. All the Mindset podcasts and the Paratalk and Radio Hour and things like that. Just download them all, because I don't know how long that website's going to be up. Same with the YouTube channel. I download the videos. I see some other people have put tributes up to him, like Matthew Williams has got a video up as well, which is lovely. It was Matthew, actually. I found out from Matthew. He texted me. I mean, I wasn't certain. I mean, I wanted to get it confirmed from the horse's mouth, so I wrote to his brother, and his brother wrote back and says, yes, it's true. And I'm very sorry. Condolences. I've met Gareth 3 times here in England. I've met him 3 times. We had 3 meetups, but I knew him so well online. I was so close to him. You know, he's the person I talk to very regularly. You know, I mean, it's like when Ian R. Crane died, I was sad, because Ian, I really hadn't. Only spoke to every few months or so. At Gareth, I spoke to every week, at least 2 hours. And we were going to, we were making plans. We were going to go to the Roswell Festival together. Me, him, Trevor Murray, and Joe Dunn, hopefully as well. We had planned to go to the Roswell Festival. Who knows, if it hadn't been for the lockdown, we might have done it. Who knows? I think it was 2013 when I first heard. How did I actually end up doing shows with Gareth? I can't remember. It was 2013 when I was on the first Mindset podcast. I was just invited on as a speaker, and I just stayed. Then Gareth took a little hiatus for a couple of years, and he came back. I mean, he ended the first series very suddenly, I remember, and decided he didn't want to do it anymore, which is why this is basically where Third Rail Radio came from, because the rest of us felt, oh no, it was just so sudden. We thought we want to carry on, so we did Third Rail. But then Gareth came back and started the Mindset again, and it was just as good. But it's then I met an entire community of people. I met the other hosts, but I've never met Joe Dunn, and I've not met all of them. I met Reeves at the last meetup. Never met Venerina, but she was on there. Joe Dunn, Venerina, a couple of other people, and Alex Fate. I met Alex Fate. I can't believe that. I can't quite grasp. It seems unreal that I'm not going to think to come home and think there's going to be a show to do with Gareth. That's never going to happen again. Not in this lifetime. But we did have a rapport, Gareth and I. I think if you go to the recordings of the various programs, you'll see that we had like we were a good team, and we did some good shows, and we used to disagree on things, and like I never managed to convince him the moon landings were faked, and several other things as well. Yeah, and he had some weird experiences in his life, especially the last couple of years. He had some pretty strange and quite alarming experiences, and I don't know how much he's told about this. I don't know. I wouldn't reveal all the details if he didn't want to reveal them. He may have revealed them to people I don't know. But he had quite alarming kind of paranormal experiences. I first met him at was it 2015? I think it was the Highgate Vampire Conference. Now I never went to the actual conference, but I went to the pub we were in just to meet Gareth. I think I just wanted to meet Gareth. He was there with his brothers, and we met up together and had a few drinks. It was great fun, and he was so pleased to see me, and I was so pleased to see him this time. In this sort of feminist-dominated world, guys aren't supposed to feel affection for each other unless they're gay. Straight men aren't supposed to feel affection for each other. This is a great shame, because we did. I think the patronising word they use is bromance, but that's what it was, I suppose. I was very, very fond of him. And then I met him again at the Mindset meetups that we did, and I think he was such a genial guy. So what's the term they use? Agreeableness is a horrible term. No, he was just really, really kind and friendly all the time, and you could always rely on him to be who he was. There was only one version of himself. He wouldn't change into something else when different people were around, like some people do. There was only one Gareth Davies, and you could always rely on him to be himself. And he would always be rational and understanding and compassionate with people. I mean, he could get angry. I mean, he was very foul-mouthed. He used to swear all the time on the radio, more than I did. And he had a wonderful sense of fun. He had a genuine fascination for things. He spoke at the at the Highgate Vampire Conference. I've never seen the whole video of his talk. I know it's available, I've never watched it. But he was very interested in the Highgate Vampire case. He basically introduced me to David Farrant, and I went on to interview David Farrant. But it was just like it was a weekly get together. Like some people go down the pub and have a beer together at a certain day. I used to get onto Skype and do Mindset Central. Usually, he changed the format a little bit. He started off like with a panel, and then the panel changed. When he came back, he said we're going to have one guest at a time, and then what happened was we started having more than one guest. And basically, if someone was available, they'd do it. And usually, I was available, so I would do it because I was the one most often available. I think I did the most shows in the new series because I was the one most available, because I was the one who tended to be available at that time. He was sincere. You know, he's got that thing you can't fake about him, that genuineness, that the truthful personality that comes out sometimes with people, which is not. You know, they're not putting on an act. You know they're not putting on an act because they don't suddenly change and put on a different act when other people are around. I can't stand people like that. And there was only one Gareth Davies, like I said. He was the same all the time. He would discuss any subject, and you know that I didn't have to be scared about breaching any topic with him. And I'm sorry I never. I'm sorry I never got to report back, because I promised him I'd watch the next few episodes of The Handmaid's Tale. I watched the first he challenged me. He said, watch the first episode of The Handmaid's Tale and tell me what you think, because I think it's really good. I watched it and I said it's a load of rubbish, and he says, let me just watch the next 3 or 4 series. I don't want to torture you, Ben, he said. That if you just watch the next few and see if you change your mind, and I never got to do it. I never did it. I was going to report back on the show, because you can actually listen to that show where he challenges me to watch a few more episodes of The Handmaid's Tale. And I'm sure more thoughts like this will come to me as time goes on. I'll do a live stream at some point, like a memorial live stream for Gareth at some point, and I'll do like a Panwo show and a third rail as well for Gareth. Well, Trevor and I will probably want to do a third rail about him, definitely. I don't know whether the Mindset podcast will continue or the Mindset Central will continue. I don't know if there's anyone else who could run it. It was his thing, really. I'm not sure I wanted to without him. I don't know how to think about that. I'll do another video about Gareth at some point. Right now I'm just stunned, and I'm just trying to absorb the fact that he's gone, and I'm not going to see him again in this life. No more mindset podcasts. No more coming home and sitting there talking to him for a couple of hours. Usually got something on in silent, like a rail. I usually, when I do the Mindset podcast, I do like I open up another browser and I have like a train driver's vlog or something running at the same time, with the volume turned down, of course. That's not going to happen again. I can't believe it's not going to happen again. Even this Sunday, I'm probably going to be thinking, I've got to get home and do the Mindset podcast with Gareth. And whoever else will be there, Niall Murphy, Colin Wilford, you know, any of the other guys. It's not going to happen. Can't believe it. I bought myself a bottle of, I wanted to get some of that Welsh whiskey, what was it called, Glenvernwy or whatever, and I couldn't find any, so I just ended up with supermarket Scotch. But I'm going to have a drink for Gareth this afternoon, definitely. And later on, when it's less raw, I'll do another video about him. I'll do a live stream or something about him. But for all you guys who've watched him and listened to him, thank you very much. Thank you very much for everything you've done, for supporting him, supporting us. And you know, I know it's not the end. I know, you know, my view on life after death. You know, it's not the end of it's not the end of him. He's gone somewhere else. And one day I hope we'll meet again. Certainly when my time comes, one of my first priorities will be to track him down, and maybe one day do it in another world, do something similar to the Mindset podcast. You never know. That's certainly going to be something I'm going to try to do. I'll say more in a future video. I won't do any tribute videos or tribute shows just yet. It's all too raw. But that is on the cards maybe when I feel up to it. But and thank you everyone who sent me condolence messages as well. I appreciate that. I've had some lovely emails from people. And to hell with the trolls, all you people like that. All the stuff about the V word and stuff, I'll tackle that as well. I know for a fact. I should say one thing about that. Gareth never has not experienced anything, or never, I don't think nothing he's experienced breaches anything that he believed. I think he wouldn't want us to change our positions based on what he's been through. But I'll say more about that in a future video. I'll get too angry if I start tackling the trolls now. I think I'll just ask, please, this is not the time for that sort of thing. That's all I can say. But thank you everyone for watching. I'm off to have a drink and toast the great life of Gareth Davies, and to the future of us all, and for him as well. Thank you for watching.